Really exciting video for you guys today. We got the brand new Air Sandman X. We're gonna put it against a slew of other suppressors, one of which being the Otter Creek Labs Infinity, and then a bunch of other stuff. We're gonna shoot it on a ton of different hosts. We're gonna do a sound test, a flash test, a back pressure test, all sorts of stuff for you guys. So I do have to give a quick shout out to the boys over at Bauer Precision for helping me make videos like this possible. If you use code JUICY5 at checkout, you will save a little bit of money. Like my girlfriend says, it's not much, but it is something. Now, to get the disclaimers out of the way, Air did send me this suppressor, but they're not paying me to make this video, so I can say whatever I want about it. And then the full list of the rest of the disclaimers and anything else I have to let you guys know about will be in the description of the video, along with the host, weapons, ammo, and all of the testing parameters that we did. So check that out. Now, let's get into the sound test. They all sounded pretty damn close.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of hard to tell the difference, and they almost all kind of sound like the same.
I think they're, yeah.
The tone is like consistent all the way through. I didn't really notice any first round pop out of any of them. It was all really consistent.
There was no first round pop, no noticeable first round pop. The tone was about the same. Overall sound suppression was about the same. I couldn't really tell the difference. Now, if you were, I'm gonna answer this question because I know people are gonna ask it. In regards to the Lazarus 6, the Lazarus 6 has a noticeably deeper tone than all of these. These all sound the same, but let's go ahead and step it out to distance and see if we can notice a difference between them on that. Okay, so it's a day later now. I'm reviewing the footage, I'm rewatching the videos, and one thing that I feel like I didn't do a good enough job at explaining is the sound testing that we did. So I want to set the standard as far as how this thing sounded in comparison to the suppressors that we shot it against. So I think the Sandman X is going to be quieter than the CS3. Obviously the CS3 is a shorter suppressor, so to be expected a little bit. Now, the Infinity with the vented end cap, I've shot this thing on a ton of different hosts and several hundred rounds now, and I genuinely think that between the Infinity and the Sandman X, I think they're right on par with each other, both on 5.56, on 300 blackout, with supers, and with subs. The only difference that I noticed was that the Infinity seemed to have a little bit quieter of a first round pop, but after that, they sound pretty much identical. Now, another thing I want to address, I know I shot it side by side with the Vent 1. And that probably made the Sandman X look awful as far as sound suppression goes. And maybe if you were shooting these on a bolt gun, the Sandman X might not be the suppressor for you. It's designed to be a low back pressure suppressor, therefore, I believe it's meant for gas guns. So one thing that the Sandman X does much better than the Vent 1 is mitigate port pop. It mitigates it so well that I'm gonna make a crazy statement and say that to my ears as the shooter, just overall sound signature, like how loud is it to shoot this next to that, I think that the Vent 1 and the Sandman X on a gas gun sound the same. Port pop is a big factor in how a suppressor sounds. Now, if you were a bystander and you stood off to the side, the vent one is going to sound quieter, of course, because you're not hearing that port pop. You can demonstrate this in several different ways. Just grab a gun and work the bolt next to your ear and just hear how loud that is. Or the next time your friend's shooting a suppressor, stand on one side, take an ear off on the port side, and then stand on the other side and take your ear off and hear the difference. So the Sandman X does such a good job at mitigating the port pop because it is ultra low back pressure that they sound very similar to the shooter. Now, as far as whether or not you want a suppressor that's quieter to you or the guy standing next to you is entirely up to you. But I really feel like I didn't do that a good enough justice explaining that in my previous edits. So I really wanted to touch on that. Now, I'm really impressed with the Sandman X. So you're getting sound suppression performance that is right on par with the Infinity in a smaller, lighter, and a little bit more inexpensive package from Dead Air. I genuinely like this suppressor. It's ultra lightweight, it's very durable, it's low back pressure, and it sounds really good. I could shoot this thing without ears on this gun, in this configuration, for quite a while without having any problems. Should I? Probably not, but it doesn't hurt. So that's my 2 cents on it. Let's go ahead and cut to the next segment of the video. Okay, so now let's talk about the back pressure test here. I think the Sandman X did just a tiny bit better than the Infinity. Keep in mind, again, vented end cap, and just a little bit better than the CS3. I would say the CS3 and the Infinity are probably about tied, and this one did a touch better. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind is also, when I do these 15-round mag dumps, that's not all the back pressure testing I'm doing and all the shooting that I'm doing with these suppressors. Most of the time, I'm shooting several hundred rounds. I think I'm about 800 rounds or so through this thing already before I even film. So I try to gather an opinion and then present it to you guys. So when I show you guys these little 15-round bursts, if you will, that's only to visualize how it performs and just to show you guys proof. So my experience thus far with this thing, I had shot it all last weekend, running drills, doing whatever, mag dumping, just doing a bunch of stuff, and I hardly got any gas. Now that's more than I can say about a lot of the 30 cal suppressors I've shot on that Sig Spear, because it is a horrifically overgassed gun. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the flash test, and then I will follow up with you guys at the end of that and give you my closing thoughts on everything. All right, so that's the flash test. Now we did it on 300 blackout and 5.56. On the blackout, you're really not going to see a whole lot, but on 5.56, you can see some sparking. I honestly think out of the ones that we tested here, the Sandman X did really well. I think it did the best, to be honest. Right on par with some of the larger suppressors that I have, even though this, without the mount, is like right at the 6-inch mark. So both the Lazarus 6 and the Sandman X from Dead Air, I've been really, really impressed with. At least from all the suppressors I've compared them against on my channel. What do you guys think did the best out here? Which ones do you think you'd be interested in buying? Ultimately, that's a decision for you to make, but let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about everything. One thing I do think I forgot to mention is that on the Sandman X, you have interchangeable end caps here. So that's a thing that Dead Air has done in previous suppressors, so I'm not sure if I brought it up before, but it is on the new one. So other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so very much for watching, and catch me on the next one. Let's try it out here. First round pop. Dude, let's try no ears. It's dead silent out here, by the way, so this is... Oh, wow. So this gun typically has a really, really nasty port pop because it's
horrifically overgassed. But this can just crushes that gas. You can see all of it coming out the front. And it still sounds really good. Wow. Obviously these are my initial impressions. I don't even know why I'm putting ears on. That, like, I had no ear ringing or anything there. I'm just, you know, trying to preserve my hearing. Otherwise, how are you guys gonna trust me when I say this one's louder than this one? Wow, 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 wow. Sandman X. Initial impressions, very good.